Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated.
This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight. Citing all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light as my fire passes way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong. I am Ryan, and I'm going to be moderating this week.
I'm Josh, and I'm going to be one of your debaters.
I'm Joe, and I'll be the other debater. Boys, let me tell you, I have been on a horror movie kick. Actually, today, I watched Slumber Party Massacre for like the fourth time. It's bad, it's campy, it's cheesy.
Slumber Party Massacre sounds actually more like a porno than a horror movie.
Well, it was made in the 80s, so they're almost equivalent to each other.
So
yeah, they're pretty close. I just can't get enough of them. I love them. They come in all shapes and sizes. And no matter what you want, you can find a horror movie related to it. I mean, you got movies with kids.
So this is Ryan speaking. I, for one, am not a horror movie fan. I don't think that you should be messing with the fear center of the brain and convincing yourself that that is an enjoyable feeling. I like the occasional thriller, the psychological stuff like that, but the straight horror movie is just not my thing.
Are you talking about that Michael Jackson thriller?
But like a good example is the movie Red Eye. Like, I like that movie. Like, it's kind of scary. It's not really a horror movie. But
Red Eye, the height of cinema.
Listen, I didn't say it was perfect. But what I'm hearing from Joe is basically that horror movies sound a lot like just old pornos. He's like, you can find anyone that you want.
He's not entirely wrong there. But I would add, I'm with Joe, is that horror movies have a lot to offer, and depending on your personality. So Joe, I know, is a big 80s slasher horror movie fan. He loves a good slasher.
I love slashers. Love them, love them, love them. Michael Myers all day.
Personally, I'm in more of like the weird horror movie realm. I like a Hereditary, a Midsommar, a little art, a little class, a little sadness, a little. I get accused of being a little bougie and a little extra often.
It's true.
A little.
Okay, a lot. But it fits right into my personality. I like that high art horror. So there's a little bit for everybody. I think to each their own. And if you're too afraid of horror movies, there's other horror movies for you, just like Red Eye.
Well, maybe this week's show is really going to convince me to join the horror movie fandom. Maybe this is the time. Maybe I can find my genre where I fit into the horror movie world.
I would doubt that, because I think with our debate this week, you're going to come away after me and Joe in this debate, at least myself, because I know I came ready. I think you're going to be a little more afraid of horror movies than you ever were before.
So this week, we have decided to create our own horror movie villain. But in true Tell Me I'm Wrong form, we couldn't just do a straight horror movie villain. That's too easy. So we decided that we would take restaurant mascots and turn them into the most terrifying thing that you have ever seen.
And so, I really feel like this is the week that I step in and I stop this 2-week winning streak for Joe.
I was about to say, we got to bring it up. So far,
if there's someone on this planet who is the foremost expert in both horror movies and restaurants, it is Josh Ballard. So I have come prepared today, not only with notes, but with food. I covered all my bases.
Listen, if you want to beat me, horror movies is not how you're going to do it.
So Josh, let's hear. You told us before we started recording that you had quite the story because you went full immersive experience. Josh has always been a method actor, so he really needed to get into his headspace. So tell us a little bit about what happened before. He's wanted to save this, so this is the first time we're hearing this.
Real quick, before Josh does it, I think we would all agree that in doing any kind of research with this, it has come to my attention that almost every fast food mascot or restaurant mascot is terrifying and looks like they could be some type of horror movie villain, or they would kill you or eat you.
I mean, Hamburglar.
It wasn't an easy choice.
Frisch's Big Boy is terrifying.
Any of the McDonald's oeuvre of character, or the Taco Bell dog, the oven mitt from Arby's.
The oven
What's
mitt.
that about?
I mean, I actually think it's good that we didn't choose the oven mitt because it would have been too easy to win. I mean, how horrifying.
Jack from Jack in the Box? I mean,
oh man.
Options.
Why did you guys not choose Jack? I didn't even think about Jack.
Guys, the cows from Chick-fil-A, they can't even spell. It's terrifying.
And they have a taste for blood. They're encouraging murder of chickens.
That is true. Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken.
All right, Josh, give us the pizza story.
All right. So in doing my research, I drew from both personal experience and from what I really thought the moment called for. Because the best part about a horror movie is when it meets the moment in time that it needs to have a great social commentary. And so I was looking at it, and I just settled on one that I think is so perfect, and that is everybody's favorite pizza rodent, Charles Entertainment Cheese, also known as Chuck E. Cheese. And
good old Chuck.
As part of my research in doing this, I decided, I haven't had it in a long time, so I got on the old DoorDash since we can't go to restaurants right now, and I would
For
not
those
go
of
to
you
Chuck E.
listening
Cheese.
at home, right now, Josh is holding up a floppy piece of pizza into the camera.
I think I just got diarrhea looking at it.
It is not appetizing, but I placed an order for some Chuck E. Cheese pizza to be delivered to my home by a stranger, in a move that certainly guarantees that I am on a watch list now.
Yeah, anybody who orders Chuck E. Cheese in 2020, especially if you're over the age of 30, you're on a list immediately.
And have no children, but they don't know that. So
that
it's fine.
may be the first sale that Chuck E. Cheese has had since the quarantine outbreak.
Or since 1986.
To that point, if this is their first sale, they really went above and beyond. Because I'll tell you what I did. I ordered 1 pepperoni pizza and some breadsticks. What I got was 2 pepperoni pizzas, breadsticks, a bag of toys, and 1,000 tickets. I got a whole family party pack.
I sincerely hope you go by yourself and redeem the tickets.
Actually, no, that's going to need to be an on-location recording. We are going to need to be there when that happens.
Oh, God. I don't want to be near him when it happens because he's definitely going on a watch list.
I mean, do I just toss them, throw them away? Do I go to Chuck E. Cheese and redeem them? Or, I thought about handing them out to all the kids that live on my street, but then that definitely means I'm getting arrested. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Promise. So anyway, I have all this food. So I got a slice of pizza right here. And I don't mean to eat on the podcast, but
it's for the show.
At best, if you told me that Little Caesars bought Chuck E. Cheese and now made their pizza, I would believe you because their breadsticks, basically just crazy bread. This pizza, definitely hot and ready. If they picked it up on the way here and put it in their box, I'd believe it.
When you held it up to the screen, I honestly was thinking, that looks like a hot and ready.
I'm not here to, run Chuck E. Cheese under a bus.
I bet if you did some research, you'd find out, in the back channels that it's all run by the same people.
Oh, for sure. The pizza deep state.
Big pizza. Yeah.
Big pizza. So anyway, I needed to get the food to just get in the atmosphere because it's been so long since I've been to Chuck E. Cheese. And that's because I find Chuck E. Cheese personally to be absolutely horrifying for a couple of reasons. Now, number one is I had frequent nightmares as a child. When I say frequent, I'm talking not just a few here and there. This was a repeating nightmare that I would have regularly of going to Chuck E. Cheese with my friends, and Chuck E. Cheese would come out and chase me through the playset. I remember this dream vividly, and it has spurned so much hate for Chuck E. Cheese over the years and so much horror. But what I think caused that fear is one fateful trip where I was with my cousin, and he convinced me to go look behind the curtains before they opened.
Oh, no. Never look behind the curtain.
You never look behind the curtain. So I peeked in there and I look in and I see that tan shag carpet on the ground. I look up and just see the lifeless body of Mr. Charles Entertainment Cheese just draped downwards, eyes closed, pitch black.
At least the eyes were closed.
At least the eyes were closed. But I picked the exact wrong time to do this because it was right before showtime. So as soon as I locked eyes. As soon as my eyes locked onto his closed eyes, he sprung to life.
Oh my gosh. This would be terrifying as an adult.
And I will never forget this. It is probably one of the top 5 most horrifying things that's ever happened in my life. I cried tears of straight horror. I was shrieking.
So when we decided this topic, there was no question in your mind.
I didn't even have to think about it.
You immediately, these visions were brought back to your brain of just horror.
Yeah, it was awful. And then the more research I did into Chuck E. Cheese, the worse it got. Because so it was founded in 1977 by Nolan Bushnell, who was the founder of Atari. Why is that important? Because he built Chuck E. Cheese with the thought in mind that he needed to find a way to get children to play more video games. So he, instead of having all the arcade machines and pool halls and places where all the teens were hanging out, he had to take it straight to the kids. So he made Chuck E. Cheese, setting off the addiction that all of us suffer from today of playing video games. So ultimately it is Nolan Bushnell and Charles Entertainment Cheese's fault. Secondly, he picked pizza because it is quote unquote hard to screw up. Well, bud, I got some news for you. Third thing, perhaps my favorite part of this, and what would have made him honestly a little bit more horrifying of a movie villain, is that originally he was supposed to be a coyote, and it was going to be called Coyote Pizza, not Chuck E. Cheese.
Coyote Pizza? Just Coyote Pizza?
But yeah, just Coyote Pizza. But when they ordered the costume, they accidentally ordered a rat costume. Oh, so when it arrived, instead of sending it back and being like, no, we wanted a coyote, they were like, I guess we're a rat place now.
We'll just change our whole business model.
So they originally named the character Rick Rat, which can best be described as, I guess, like what Chuck E. Cheese calls himself after closing time. Like, I don't know. So ultimately, this character is flawed. He's there to build addiction into children. He makes bad pizza. He's a singing rat. And he named a restaurant after himself while playing in a band that's not even his band. It's Munch's Magical Band. It's not Chuck E. Cheese's band. Munch is the band leader.
Chuck E. Cheese's band?
No, the restaurant's named after him, and he forces the rest of the band to play in it. With his name
another pun, but he weaseled his way in?
He weaseled his way in, yes. And so ultimately, the character of Chuck E. Cheese is a flawed individual to start with. So we don't need to build much of a gritty backstory at all. He's already kind of a little bit sleazy. But to take it to the next level, I want to draw your attention to something that I find particularly important to my movie plot that I will explain later, as well as just so you better understand old Charles. I'm just going to read this. This is from Chuck E. Cheese's official website. This is the origin story of Charles Entertainment Cheese. Once upon a time, a little mouse moved into the St. Marina's orphanage. He loved to play games with all the other orphans, but most of all, Chucky loved learning to play music. He especially loved the song Happy Birthday. Because Chucky was an orphan, no one knew when his birthday was. So he never had a birthday party of his own. This made Chucky sad. But not for long, because with so many kids at the orphanage, there was always a birthday party almost every week.
That is shockingly dark.
Motive.
That is the gritty origin story you need for any horror movie villain.
I mean, you didn't have to change a word.
That Chuck E. Cheese, a.k.a. Charles Entertainment Cheese, a.k.a. Rick Rat, was so just traumatized by his upbringing that he decided to build a whole pizza restaurant that was meant to get children addicted to video games for his own selfish reasons.
Okay. Do you guys know the episode of The Office?
Oh my God, I was just thinking about Michael Scott.
Yes, it's Michael Scott. He's like, so I want to become a boss because they have to be my friends. He created his whole life around just having birthday parties. My gosh, it's so dark.
World's best boss, Rick Rat. And so ultimately, listen, I don't even have to debate. All I did was lay out the facts for you. And just on the surface, I've already built the basics of a great horror movie villain. I mean, you want someone who has a gritty backstory. You want someone who has had trauma in their past. You want someone who is horrifying to begin with. You also want someone who has an alias. That's always great.
I have to say it's a great start. I'm truly impressed with the groundwork that has been laid. I do have some follow-up questions, but first I want to hear from Joe. I know he has been working hard on his pitch, so
yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, Josh. I won't deny he's creepy. I, too, had a similar experience to you. So growing up, we had my birthday party every year at Chuck E. Cheese. And as every kid naturally knows, on your birthday party, the universe revolves around you. And there are no rules to contain you. One year I climbed up on the stage.
I don't mean to already
like
poke a hole in your debate here, but when you have a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, you're actually not the center of attention. That is Chuck E. Cheese.
It's always Chuck.
Let's back to your story, but continue.
Yes. So I climbed up on the stage, much like you, not while he wasn't performing, but unfortunately while he was performing. And I went to go give Chucky a hug. When I gave him a hug, the panel on his backside fell off, where I could look inside this hairy cyborg creature, animatronic creature playing fake music and see all the inner workings and gears. I was floored.
Staring into the abyss.
Yeah, it was bad. So
you're saying that we should just end the episode right here. All right, guys. I won the debate. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is the most horrifying. You can't beat that, bud.
No, you're right. It was scary. But so when I started looking at this, I thought, what's scary to me? Wendy, naturally scary. I mean, you're talking about Annabelle, the Hamburglar. He would rob you and then murder you. Ronald McDonald, hello, Pennywise, basically the same person. All of those are Girl Scouts compared to who I've chose. I decided to go with Colonel Harland David Sanders. That's right.
We are proud Kentuckians.
Mr. KFC himself.
Are you about to slander the founding father of Kentucky?
I don't have to slander anything. Let me tell you, talking about gritty, this man's had a rough go of it. Born in 1890, oldest of 3 kids, father died at the age of 5. In order to make ends meet, his mom would often work days straight, which left him at home at age 7 to cook for the entire family. Young age, he developed affinity to cook. Growing up, numerous jobs. He falsified his age so he could join the army. Was discharged within a year. There was no recollection of why he was discharged. Take what you want from there.
He found the 11th herb and spice while he was there and just knew he needed to get out and start a restaurant.
No. So he started working on railroads, working as a fireman, working as a mechanic. Hard labor. Working for days straight. Nasty, dirty, gritty, little pay. Put himself through law school, started working as a lawyer, was a lawyer up till he got in a fight with the person he was defending in the courtroom, to which he was disbarred after that, started selling insurance, was fired for that for, I think, tampering. And then he got offered to run a filling station in Corbin, Kentucky. So, as you can see, there's a pattern that he's been able to hold jobs. Oftentimes, he does himself, his anger gets the best of him, or he has unfortunate things that people are supposed to help him who screw him. One day while he was at the filling station, he sold some chicken he had made. And he started selling chicken out of the filling station to people who'd come in. A man across the street owned another service station. They got upset with each other and actually got in a shootout from one service station to another service station, shooting at each other until the point where this other man, I think his name's Matt Stewart.
I was about to ask if his name was Lee.
Nope, Matt Stewart. He actually shot Colonel Sanders' employee, was convicted of murder, went to jail, which allowed Colonel Sanders' filling station to be the only one that people had around, and then catapulted his food
gosh. The layers. So you're
saying he murdered for the chicken?
No, he murdered an actual person that worked at Colonel Sanders' gas station. Shot him right in front of Colonel Sanders.
So he sacrificed somebody for the sake of his chicken.
Yeah.
Basically. So he began selling chicken more and more, and it was okay until someone by the name of Duncan Hines wrote about his chicken in his book Adventures in Good Eating while he was traveling through the Smoky Mountains. And
wait, so Duncan Hines was not an author and didn't just make icing?
No, he's an author. I don't think it's the same Duncan Hines as the cake person.
Oh,
but
wow.
that made him huge because people all over the nation got to know Colonel Sanders. He built a restaurant. As soon as he built the restaurant, he built it with a hotel. It burnt to the ground.
Oh my gosh, he's cursed.
What in the world?
So they rebuilt another restaurant. A hotel, bigger hotel. And then he began to franchise his restaurants. His wife would actually package the secret herbs and spicing, and they would ship it to all the KFCs all over. The first one, I think, was in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is weird.
That is weird.
But
are you about to drop a bomb on us and say, like, the 11th herb and spice is the ashes of his former employee?
No bomb. He franchised it, started growing, and eventually sold his stake for very little money. Even today's standard, it would equal about $16 million. But he had already started patenting everything. The way he cooks his chicken is pressure fried.
Oh.
That's why it gets so crispy. And he actually patented that. And he was the face of it. So they told him to stay on. And by forcing him to do things in his contract, made him do a bunch of things he wanted to do. He opened another restaurant in Shelbyville for his wife.
Yep.
Where they sold chicken in a restaurant.
Very delicious.
They sued him for it.
Oh.
So he had to change the name, change the recipe. Literally took everything that he had grown and changed it and gave him no credit for it. Either changed it or took it and gave him no credit for it.
Making of
At
a
one
murderer.
point, he said he went and had their food and he compared the gravy to wallpaper paste.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No. So he had a rough life growing up, grew up during the Depression, watched his friend who worked with him get shot and killed, built up a restaurant, it burnt down, built up another restaurant, grew it, sold it for little money, then was forced to be a puppet for the company that took your money. They eventually fired him for it. And all he really has left is these hotels. And a angry, bitter man.
So I think we've laid out two good foundations. What you got, Josh?
I was going to say, I'll give you this. That's a pretty gritty backstory you got there. Not to mention, one point that I'll give in Joe's favor is the number of people he's probably murdered through famous bowls over the years is astronomical. Millions.
Don't forget the double stacker.
As Joe stated, none of that was part of his vision. So as I was preparing to moderate this episode, I had to do some research about what makes an iconic villain. What are the qualities? I think one of the things that I found was creating a a depth of character. I think you've both already shown that, so I'm not going to ask any questions there. But there are at least two questions that I have, and I'm going to ask these, but these are going to be rhetorical, and I want you to make sure that you think about these when we go into the movie pitch. So 1, villains have iconic imagery. Think of Freddy Krueger. Think of, any various villain that has something that immediately identifies them. So that's something to think about. The second one, this is what I think is the most important. Villains always have a personality trait that has been taken to the extreme. So you have Jigsaw, or you have the Joker, things like that. There's one personality trait that's taken to the extreme. So what is it about Mr. Rick Rat that has been taken to the hilarious extreme? And then finally, what is their ultimate goal? What are they trying to accomplish by inspiring fear? So while you think about that, and as we prepare for our movie pitches, Joe, why don't we step into your office this week and just see how that's coming along?
Wait, you're coming to my office?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen my office
okay?
and Ryan's office.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Just give me a minute. Let me go.
We'll just.
You go do your thing. Let us know when you're ready.
Yeah. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay. We'll meet you over there.
Josh, it's been like 6 or 7 minutes. Like I'm just gonna see if it's open.
I mean, he hasn't told us he's ready yet. I mean, he told us to wait.
But we gotta get on with the recording. I'm just gonna open the door. Joe,
buddy,
why is it so dark in here? Oh my gosh! I think something just touched my foot.
Oh.
Is there?
Hello?
Did you close the door?
I didn't close the door.
Gosh.
Joe?
Why is it so cold in here? How is it so much colder?
Do you feel that? It's like I can feel it around me.
We gotta get out of here.
This isn't funny.
Where's the Joe?
The door?
Joe, are you in here?
Oh God, Joe.
Where's
did he lock
handle?
us in his office?
Oh my gosh! I don't even feel the door. What is happening? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh God! Is it getting colder?
Joe! Oh my gosh!
Did you hear footsteps?
I think something touched my neck.
What if it's Rick Rat?
Could be.
Joe!
What if the Colonel has chicken in here?
What is this? Is this like a torture chair? Is this...
I think I found the door handle.
Are you sure?
Wait.
Is that it?
It's locked.
Oh, God. Is it possible he didn't get any ads this week and he didn't want to tell us, and so he's just going to kill us?
I mean, he didn't seem like the type, but...
He seemed to be in the... Joe!
Hey, guys.
Oh!
God. What are you doing? Joe, open the door.
Let us out. Where are you standing? Your voice is everywhere. Buddy?
Wait, how long have y'all been here?
Like several minutes. We've been screaming.
Oh, no, I'm just in here watching a movie.
No, you're not. It is pitch black.
What?
No, it's the TV. It just went off. Okay, let's just... Now, you know what? Maybe you all shouldn't have came down here. I don't know. This is weird. Let's just go back. You said you were going to
come get us. Why were you watching a movie?
Yeah, no.
Is this your office?
Yeah, no, it's just I was watching a horror movie. I just came in, it was on, and I sat down.
It was
and
definitely
I thought y'all
pitch black in here, bud.
I thought y'all would come join me. I'm embarrassed. I think it's best we leave. I think it's best. We probably need to leave.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. But shouldn't we, like, the whole point of coming in here is
I think it's best that you all get out of this office as soon as possible.
What's going to happen if we don't?
I'm leaving.
Nothing's going to happen. I think it's best you just leave. What's your favorite thing from Chick-fil-A?
Well, the fry. I genuinely love the fries. The waffle fries are just
what the hell
amazing.
is that, Joe?
And then
they are. What? We're talking about Chick-fil-A.
Are you gonna come join us?
You left me in there. What was that about?
I've literally been here the entire time.
That's
I've been talking
not
to
true.
Ryan for
Me
like
and you
10
talked
minutes
while we were in your office.
Ryan
was there
went
too.
to my office. I went to Ryan's office.
What? Ryan was
I thought
there
we went to Ryan's
too.
office.
Oh,
I don't know. You're confusing me.
Ryan,
you're
right?
confusing me.
I think I was. It all seems so.
It's me.
Let's
just keep moving. My office. It's not a big deal. Let's not talk about it. It's probably not a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. Cool,
Joe, we got to fix that at some point because.
Yeah, I mean
no, I'll work on it. It'll be good for next week. I got an idea. I've got some decorating ideas, dude. It's gonna be off the chain, boys.
We'll find out about them. Let's just get back to things, and I could just use something that's a little normal right now. So let's just get back to the debate.
So now that we've got that weirdness out of our system, we are now going to set up the closing argument, which we are going to frame as your movie pitch. So I want you to give me big important scenes, the build up, build the suspense. Maybe Josh can put in some scary music moments. All right. We are going to start with Josh.
All right, let me set the scene for you. As I said earlier, the most important thing in any horror movie is when it meets the moment that it has a great social commentary. Chuck E. Cheese, he's not needed anymore. Just as so many jobs are being lost to automation, the robots are as well. Chuck E. Cheese in 2017 made the decision that by about this time, all the robots would be removed from the restaurants in favor of a live-action mascot, Chuck E. Cheese, with some teenager inside, taking the heart and soul of what made Chuck E. Cheese so great in the 80s and 90s out of it, losing his job to a new way of thinking. So now, thrown out into the dumpster behind the restaurant, this is a true fact that people have been stealing them and then reselling them to people online. So we're gonna jump forward a little bit. We'll see Chucky get thrown in the dumpster, and then we're gonna go visit our new friend, the young 30-year-old engineer named Nolan. He has 2 beautiful children, a loving wife, and he grew up going to that Chuck E. Cheese in the 90s. He worked there as a teenager, even donning the Chucky costume. And then he's taken his own children there in recent years. So he was online one day, just trying to waste some time on a Saturday, and what did he find? He found a Chuck E. Cheese robot from his local Chuck E. Cheese that's just down the street on sale. The same one he'd seen since he was a kid and that his kids had seen. And he says, you know what? It'll be funny. I'll buy it. So he buys the Chuck E. Cheese. He brings it home and he gets to work trying to make it work again. He has no manual, so he's searching online. We go through this whole montage of him working on this robot mouse, trying to bring Rick Rat back to life. And finally, after some work, he makes it happen. It starts to move. He can control it. Chuck E. Cheese is alive again. He shows his kids and wife, and they're all stoked, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." He's like, "Yeah, I got to figure out how to get him to sync up to the music again, and then we'll have our own Chucky, and it'll be something cool we can show to people." He goes to bed that night, and he's like, "I'm gonna work on this on Saturday." Overnight, a thunderstorm rolls in, lightning crashing everywhere. It's a real violent one. His family has to go down to the basement. Their garage gets struck by lightning. And when it does, the lightning rolls through the wire up into the Chuck E. Cheese robot, and his eyes pop open. And he begins to look around. We cut back to Nolan on that Saturday, walking back to the garage, ready to work on getting the music to sync up. And what does he find? He finds a terribly damaged garage door. It's all bent out of shape, basically ripped in half. He's like, "Oh God, what happened?" He gets in there. Old Charles Entertainment Cheese is gone. Did he get stolen? Who would break in and steal my Chuck E. Cheese? So he starts trying to figure out what's going on. He goes to the security cameras, and what does he see? He sees a horrifying animatronic robot mouse learning how to walk on his quiet neighborhood street, strolling down the road with purpose. He sees that in horror, and he jumps in his car, and he's like, "I don't know where this thing's going. What have I done?" So he goes on the search. He can't find this rat. It was about Saturday afternoon, so sun's starting to set, slight drizzles coming down. We jump to the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant that's just down the street. We see people working inside, children playing. We cut to the back alley. There's a young boy named Connor taking a rip on his jewel. Lower half all Chuck E. Cheese costume. Chuck E. Cheese head off to the side. Getting ready for another freaking children's birthday party. What do we see off in the distance behind the dumpster? We see the dead eyes of a robot rodent, Rick Rat, staring at him, ready to get his revenge for being replaced. We cut back inside the restaurant. He goes out, gets ready to do his job. Chucky lumbers up. He starts looking in the back window. He's watching the pizza chefs. figures out he can open the door, and he walks in. He's lumbering through the kitchen, through the employee area, until the manager stops and he goes, "Whoa, Connor, did you find the old costume? That's super cool, but so creepy." Chucky doesn't answer. He's not Connor. He's Rick Rat. And he's here for blood. So as old Connor in his Chuck E. Cheese costume is entertaining a group of terribly annoying and loud 7-year-olds, Chucky walks up behind him and grabs Connor and begins to violently attack him. Chaos breaks loose. The children are running everywhere. They're scattering about. The parents are freaking out, attacking the robot. But in the lightning strike, the robot became supercharged, almost inhuman. You could say a monster. He's fighting off the parents, clawing at Connor. Connor starts to run. He's running through the restaurant. He goes up on stage, what used to be where Chucky lived, and Chucky's chasing him. They're knocking over tables. Pizza, ice cream, cake, the salad that the one mom got, just scattered about the restaurant. They fight their way into the kitchen, throwing knives at each other, trying to kill this robot, trying to kill Connor. They make their way back out. Then Connor, in true 80s slasher film style, does something that makes no sense and crawls into the playset. And just like my nightmare, Chucky follows him in there, all the way to the top of the play place. Him and Connor struggle. It's like Undertaker and Mankind on top of the cage until the Chucky robot gets a hold of Connor and is dangling him over the edge. But Connor fights back, turns around, and just as the cops run in, and our good old friend Nolan strolls in the back, knowing what's going on at the sound of the children screaming, we see Connor throw Chucky through the top of the playset and into the ball pit below. Chuck E. Cheese laying in the ball pit, only his nose, his dead eyes, and one hand exposed from the ball pit. We see the cops help Connor down from the play place, get him to safety, wrap a towel around his Chucky body, and help him to the back to safety. Or so they thought, because we pan back over to our old friend laying in the ball pit, and that hand that is sticking up shrinks into the tightest fist. And thus ends Rick Rat Origins. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, I'm not gonna lie. There were moments I got chills. I got fear chills. I'm very impressed.
I wanted the help of my good friend Rick Rat to take out Joe on his winning streak. So Joe, why don't you tell us what your good old buddy the Colonel did, and see if you can top my story there.
Your Chucky story, it seems scary. Almost as scary as the first time I saw it in the first Chucky movie. I'm sorry, Chucky 2.
His name is Rick Rat. It's different though.
Oh, excuse me, Rick Rat. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, a robot rat would definitely terrify me. I don't deny that. I decided to go on a little different approach. The title of my movie is Battered and Bruised.
Wait, you gotta give us a second on that one, because that was pure genius. Wow, pure genius, Joe. Off to a great start. All right, give it to us.
The movie's set sometime in the 1960s, set in Corbin, Kentucky. Opens up a young couple in a vehicle heading down I-75, a route many of us have taken. They're on their honeymoon. They're traveling deep into the Smoky Mountains. They've heard lots of stories about things they should go see, but one thing they were really excited for is they wanted to try out that hotel in Corbin with the first KFC restaurant in the state of Kentucky. They love KFC. They thought they wanted to try it out. They arrived there late into the night. Go in. It's raining. Go in the front desk. Hugging each other, loving. They just got married. And lo and behold, who do they go in and see? Who's working the counter? Nothing but Colonel Harlan Sanders himself. Well, hello there, folks. How you doing tonight? Nasty weather. They look at each other and smile and say, yeah, it's pretty bad. we're on our way down to the Smoky Mountains, and we had to stop at your hotel. We're going for a honeymoon. And he goes, oh, shucks, congratulations. The husband, Zach, said, hey, do you have any rooms available? And Colonel looks at him and goes, we do have a few rooms available. As you can see, there's some people here. As they do, they look out into the parking lot, and they see through the rain a couple cars out there. They're all dark. He said, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to comp you all one of our best rooms since you're on your honeymoon. So he flips open his records book and takes their information and their payment. He also said, I do offer behind-the-scenes tours of the hotel and the restaurant if you guys would be interested. They look at each other, but it's late. And like I said, they're on their honeymoon. So they both politely decline, which seemed to kind of put him off a little bit. He was a little offended that they wouldn't do it. But they explained to him they were tired, and they kind of just wanted to go to bed. Doubtful they'll be sleeping, but they want to go to bed. So he directs them to the room, told them about breakfast in the morning, got a breakfast bar. And as they were walking away, he goes, hey, I just want to give you all a real quick reminder. This is an old hotel, and it makes lots of weird sounds in the nights. Nothing's wrong. You're perfectly safe. Have a great night. Fast forward a little bit, they're in their rooms getting ready, looking at each other, googly eyes, smiling, excited for another night of wedded bliss. Move forward, you see them in bed, kissing, hugging each other, just the picture of love. When Zach kind of pulls up as he hears a weird sound. It was weird because it seemed like it was almost in the room. He looks around, nothing's there. Gets back to what's the moment at hand. Eventually they're done. Emily says, I'm going to use the restroom. And Zach goes, here's the sound again. He goes, that's weird. I keep hearing something. I think it's in the hallway. I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can't get a drink and check this out. Emily uses the restroom, brushes her teeth, climbs in bed, rolls over, turns. And as she does, a dark hooded figure emerges from the corner on the wall, grabs her, pulls her into the wall, covers her eyes, door shut. Never even knew she was gone. As Emily's struggling, she's fighting, she's screaming. She's able to see slightly. She sees she's in some kind of hallway, but it's unrecognizable. It's unfinished. And all of a sudden, lights out. Emily's unconscious. Zach goes downstairs, gets a drink, runs back up, opens his door. Emily's gone. Nowhere to be found. Bed's there, all her stuff's there. His new bride is gone. He's searching, going through the hallway, screaming, Emily, 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 where are you? Goes down the front desk, taps the little bell. Colonel Sanders comes out, asks what's going on, asks if he's seen Emily, and he said, no, I haven't seen her. I saw you come down for a drink, but not her. And he runs back up to the room, is frantically searching, throws the bed, throws it, and when he's on the floor, looks and sees a little light coming under the door. Under one of the walls, walks up to it, pushes it, and realizes there's a secret set of hallways hidden behind every room. He's able to go and look, and there's peepholes in every room of the hotel. They've been watched this entire time. Follows him downstairs for what he seems like forever, till he finally finds a room without a peephole, a dead end. Pushes the door open, enters a butcher's room, where he finds his new bride, unconscious, tied to a chair, slumped over. He has no idea. The room is like sterile, it's clean. He looks over, there's a tray full of knives and cleavers. He just doesn't know what to think. He just does what he naturally thinks. He runs and he wakes her up. Emily, are you okay? And she groggily wakes up. Zach, Zach, what happened? Where are we? And he goes, I don't know, but we got to get out of here. Starts to untie a rope, and just as he hears that, he hears a click, and all of a sudden someone says, yeah, I don't think that's going to be an option for you there, young man. As he turns, Colonel Sanders, standing there in his white suit with a clear apron on, clear plastic apron, holding a meat cleaver in one hand and a meat tenderizer in another. Last scene, Colonel just charging for him. As he does, Zach is able to narrowly avoid him, knock him over, and then him and Emily both run back up the hallway, out the first door they see. They start banging on every door. Hello, help. Picking up the phone's dead, every door. They kick open the door, kick it open, looking for people. Look at the logbook, there's people here. Can't find their car keys, can't find any of their car keys. Sneak down another room. Zach falls through the floor into a dumpster full of chicken bones and human bones. The Colonel is snapped. He heard rumors about people disappearing in this area. He thought it had something to do with the mountains. The Colonel was pushed too many times. Too many times did he take jobs that were taken away that belonged to him. Too many times we dealt raw hands. All he wanted to do was teach people about his chicken. And these people refused to even let him do that. He snapped. He couldn't handle it anymore. He goes back. Him and his wife can't get out of the hotel. It's gone. The Colonel's on the tail, on the chase the entire time. Until they have a showdown at the end. They're fighting. They go. Emily's hit, unconscious. Zach grabs a small paring knife. The Colonel with his cleaver and his meat tenderizer. Zach stabs the Colonel, gets a few good shots in, but he catches him with the meat tenderizer. Sorry, can't let you get away with my secret herbs and spices. With a final kill stroke, he chops Zach's head off. Clean. Drains the bodies. Removes his apron. Adjusts his cow ties. Walks across the street to his house. Kisses his wife on the cheek. And said, that young couple, they had to get out, left early. She goes, it's weird people keep leaving so early. And he goes, I know, no one stays. What are we gonna have for breakfast in the morning, honey? He rolls over, goes to sleep. He's got an early start in the morning to get breakfast going. Chicken fried, mothers.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Well, Joe really brought it there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous, but I feel like Rick Rat, he didn't do any body dismemberment in mine, but he's still on the run. So
he is on the run, but my movie is grounded in realism. That could happen to anyone traveling.
The Colonel's gonna kill him?
No, but you can go to a hotel. You never know what's happening.
This is a fair point. But you could also get killed by a robot rodent. Either, I mean...
yes, you could. You got me there. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen those.
Times are wild these days.
A robot rodent motivated by the loss of his job due to other people taking it who's younger.
You know what? I do have a question for you guys, and this may tip the scale. It's currently very even. I'm leaning one way, but this may tip the scales a little bit. So, in my research, the iconic imagery was always important. So, I would like for each of you to give me the movie poster. What's on the poster? What is it? What are you teasing without giving away the plot? What is it? What are you giving the visuals of the essence of the movie? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I think my poster is a solid black, and it's just a picture of the Colonel in his full regalia, white suit, black cattle tie, wearing the clear robe, in front of like a little small butcher block table with a cleaver in his hand. And he goes, "The Colonel would love for you to come stay for dinner."
Okay. I like it. Rick Rat, what you got?
So I think I'm going to go special edition poster for this one. Like a true 90s cinema kind of deal here. So there's going to be one poster, but it's one of those that, depending on which side of the poster you're on, it's going to show two different images. On one side, we're going to have just a standard Chuck E. Cheese game token. And then on the other side, if you just drift a little bit to the right, it's going to change the face on there to a battered, angry Chuck E. Cheese face. He becomes Rick Rat on one side of the poster.
The letters change from Charles Entertainment Cheese to Rick Rat.
On the bottom of the poster, it says, "Game's over." Simple, beautiful, tasteful.
Also good.
Unlike their pizza.
All right. I think I've made my decision. I have to say, both expertly debated. We have lived up to our tagline: ridiculous questions, meticulously debated. The research was, I applaud both of your research and the movie pitches. I would go see either one, even not being a horror fan. I am choosing this movie for the main reason is the very clear path of the movie and the imagery. I was able to see what was being explained, and for those reasons, I am choosing Rick Rat.
You gotta be kidding me.
The rat comes through, baby.
It was very close. It was very close.
No.
Again, it was very close. Both were, honestly, I was shocked at how the thoroughness of a movie built from a restaurant franchise.
Rick Rat is now my ride or die. No matter what topic we do for the rest of the show, Rick Rat's my choice. Sports, pop culture, politics, all Rick Rat, baby.
This is a travesty. No,
you're just disappointed because somebody finally 3 episodes into the show is able to beat you. 3 episodes of our brand new show, we finally were able to take you down, and all it took was a mutant robot rat.
The imagery of the eye, the dead eye, the returning to the dead eyes, the garage. It was just, listen, I haven't seen a lot of horror movies, but it really spoke to me. Joe, yours was very, very dark, very, very on the psychological side, which I came in, I was like, you know what? I like the built-in history, it was very, very much a real thing that could have happened. But as far as the movie, the cinema, the full pitch goes, I had to lean just slightly towards the Rick Rat.
And just for posterity, because I'm a man of the people, I want to paint one more word picture before we get out of here. Me, Joe, and Ryan record this podcast where we can see each other on video chat. And Joe can best be described as seething at the moment, slumped in his chair, hand gently placed below his chin, stroking his goatee in anger, just like the Colonel.
It is frustrating to get beat by Child's Play 2. I agree with you.
You know what?
Never seen it.
I don't have time for this Rick Rat slander. Let's end this episode.
All right. First, we want to thank you, the listeners. Anyone who's listening to this, we are thankful for you. We really enjoy recording this podcast, and we hope you enjoy listening to it. I would also like to thank Isle of 8 for the use of our theme song, Jean Jacket. You can check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere you find good music. Any announcement you guys have?
I'm going to hop in here and just let everybody know that if you head over to tmiwpod.com, over there you can sign up for our mailing list. You can also pop in there and shoot us a little email. Let us know a topic you'd like to see. I don't know, maybe you want us to do more horror movies in the future, but what topic should we tackle? Just let us know. We'll see if we can pull it off. Maybe not as good as Colonel Harlan Sanders or Rick Rat, but we'll try our best. Also, if you want to hop on social media, you can do that. Just visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over those. Use hashtag TMIWpod. Let us know what you think about our movies. Let us know who you would pick as your restaurant mascot. And hit us up. We want to hear it. We'll retweet you. We'll give you a shout out. We'll make sure that people.
If you can give us a tweet length movie pitch of your fast food mascot, we will definitely give you guys a shout out.
Use hashtag TMIWpod. Give us your restaurant mascot, your one tweet pitch on your movie, and we'll maybe read some on a future episode.
Yeah, once again, I'll just echo what I said last week. It's so cool and humbling that you guys are listening to this. I mean, like I said, we're just three idiots who talk about even more idiotic things. And the fact that you'll give your time to listen to us, it's just very cool, very humbling. I'm just very appreciative. And the best thing, if you all want to help us out, the best thing you could do is just tell your friends, subscribe, rate and review, 5 stars, please. That just goes a long way to help us in any way. And we want to keep making these. We really enjoy it. And we're just excited to get some more terrible, terrible things to talk about for you all.
We know every podcast says that, but it really does help, especially in the early going. Finally, I just have one more thing to say. There's always one winner. On this episode, it was Josh. But as always, we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Goodbye.